We're going to continue our unit on circles. This time we're going to be talking about the equations of circles. This is pretty important because the SOL has some things where you need to manipulate them, move some things around and graph them, and equations of circles almost always comes up on it. So the objectives are I will be able to write the equation of a circle. I'll be able to graph a circle of the coordinate plane. So the first thing we need to know is what the equation of a circle is. So there's going to be a lot of letters here, but it's actually not that complicated. I think it's going to make more sense whenever we plug it in and use some examples. So the equation of a circle with center HK and a radius of r is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. So like I said, I think the easiest thing for us to do is to do some examples to see what we mean by this. All we really need to do is plug in h, k, and r. So we need to write an equation for the circle. So the center is at -2, 4, and the diameter is 4. So if the diameter is 4, this means the radius is 2. So we have r. Our center is hk. So whenever we plug it in, it's going to be x minus h. So it's going to be x minus -2, or x plus 2 squared plus y minus k, this time it's 4, equals 2 squared, which is 4. So 4 comes from 2 squared. This positive 2 comes from negative 2. So those are the things that we have to change up a little bit. For number 2, we're told the center is at the origin. So that means the center is at 0, 0. That means we have h, k, and r is 3. So if we want to fill this out, it's going to be x minus 0 squared plus y minus 0 squared is equal to 3 squared. We can simplify that, though, to get x squared plus y squared is equal to 9. Because remember, x minus 0 is the same as x. So for numbers 3 and 4, we're not given a point in terms of a coordinate. It's graphed for us, so we need to find out what it is. So this point right here is going to be 1, 2, 3. So that's -3. 1, 2, 3. Positive 3. So we're going to use the equation again. And we should see that the radius, I'm going to do that in green, the radius is equal to 2. So putting it all together, I have h is equal to -3, k is equal to 3. So I'm going to have x plus 3 squared plus y minus 3 squared is equal to 4. Again, 4 comes from 2 squared. 2 squared is 4. So the last one here, we have 1, 1 at the center, and r is equal to 2. So we have hk at 1, 1. So we're going to have x minus 1 squared plus y minus 1 squared is equal to 4. 4 is 2 squared. So this one says identify the center and radius or diameter of each circle. So we need to pay special attention if it's radius or diameter. So the center, we flip the sign, so it's going to be 7, -3. And the radius is the square root of 121. So we take this right here is r squared. So if we want to solve for r, we need to take the square root of it, which is just 11. The center should be easy to find. 0 for x, positive 7 is the center. This one asks for the diameter. The radius is equal to the square root of 25, which is 5. So the diameter is 5 times 2, which is 10. So again, we have another one that asks for diameter, but before we have the center, it's going to be -4, +10. Again, we're taking the opposites there, and the diameter is going to be double the radius. So the radius is equal to the square root of 400, which is 20. So that means the diameter needs to be 40. So try this one on your own. The radius is not going to be a whole number. That's your hint. So we're asked to graph each circle. So what we need to find is the center and the radius. So for number 9, the center, we already figured that out from the last types of problems, is 2, 1. And the radius is the square root of 9, or 3. So we graph the center. There's 2, 1. And then we can plot 3 points. Once we have those 3 points, we have a circle. Just like that. So there's our circle. It's 3 units away. R is equal to 3. And this point right here is the center. It's 2, 1. So we want to do the same thing for number 10. The center is going to be 0, 1. And the radius is going to be equal to 4. So we plot 0, 1, and then we count 4 units away. So we have R is equal to 4. And then we're going to connect these dots. And there's our circle. So try to do 11 and 12 on your own. Do 11 and 12 on your own. So for numbers 13 through 16, we're not given an equation in standard form. We have to get rid of the 4 for number 13. So what we do is we just divide everything by 4. So we're going to get x squared plus y squared is equal to 9. Once you do that, it's a pretty easy problem to find the center. It's 0, 0, and the radius is going to be 3. So before I write 3 down, the radius is going to be the square root of 9, which is 3. We're going to do something very similar for number 14, only this time we're going to divide by 6. We can't have that coefficient out there. So we end up with x squared plus y squared is equal to 4. Again, our center is going to be 0, 0. And our radius is going to be the square root of 4, or 2. So I'll do 16, and I want you to do 15 on your own. 16, we just divide by 10. We get x squared plus y squared is 16. So our center is 0, 0, and our radius is the square root of 16, or 4. So the last thing we have here is number 17. We're asked to write the equation of the circle. So we need to do x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. We need to find h, k, and r. So we're given a diameter. Whenever we're given a diameter, those are endpoints that are on the circle. So to find the center, we use the midpoint formula. So hopefully everybody remembers what the midpoint formula is. It's the average of the x's and the average of the y's. So I'm just going to plug in these numbers. I have x1, y1, and x2, y2. So whenever I plug those numbers in, I get negative 7 plus 1 over 2. And negative 4 plus 2 over 2. So that means my midpoint's going to be negative 3, negative 1. So this is h and k. So I have negative 3 and negative 1. So right away, to fill this out, so h is negative 3, k is negative 1. Now I need to solve for r. So to find r, we use the distance formula. Which is d is equal to the square root the distance is equal to x1 minus x2 quantity squared plus y1 minus y2 quantity squared. So I have my values of x1 and y1. So I'm going to plug those in. So we have negative 7 minus 1 squared plus negative 4 minus 2 squared. We could type that directly into our calculator. So the best thing to do is type in what's underneath the square root first. So we have negative 7 minus 1 squared plus negative 4 minus 2 squared. I get 100. So the square root of 100 is equal to 10. That's equal to the diameter. We want to find the radius. So that means the radius is going to be equal to 10 over 2, which is just 5. So going back up here, we now have the radius of 5, and 5 squared is 25. So that came from 5 squared. So to answer our question, there it is. Might look like a lot of work, but all you really did was just use the midpoint distance formula, and that's it. The midpoint formula is one of the simplest formulas you're going to learn all year, and it's going to keep coming up throughout the rest of your high school math and anything else you're going to come up with after that. So I hope this was helpful. Have a great day, and please come to class prepared with any questions.